Let me know if you can hear the voice okay. The microphone was working, and then just like right before I got on here, I noticed it. I said, oh, I think it's fading again. Because I was, preparing to come on here. And sure enough, it was. And I was adjusting. I said, oh, I'm not going through this again. I'll just bring this one over, and we'll go to Plan B. Just let me know if you can, if the guitar and the voice are similar volumes. People are telling me it's all good. What I really need is a new mixer. I'll look up, I think the Allen and Heath series. A lot of people recommending that. And the problem with the one I had that I tried, that temporary one I had was, oh my God, the hiss. I turned it on, it was like, I'm like, is that normal? Like, is there a ground loop? What the frick? I was like, oh no. Damn, that's bad. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Yeah, I'm coming to the slow realization that I have to buy another mixer. So, listen, I only got like 26 years out of this. A little short. And how many hours of friggin' use? I mean, it's literally been on for the last, 20 years. Voice a little low for the guitar. Okay, hold on. How about now? Is that a little better? Or is that too loud? Check, 1, 3. Sibilance. Okay, now you hear the guitar come through the mic. It's a delicate balance. The truckery. Very good levels now. Okay. Matt says it's better. I believe him. Matt's never steered me wrong. It's a little bit more intimate. Tactical 6-string. Here on Choices. I call it Choices. Wasn't that the, was that the, Sideshow Bob when he took over for Krusty? He's like, we won't be doing those gags today, children. Like Kelsey Grammer. Today we'll be exploring the dichotomy. It's like a children's show, of art and sciences, and I call it Choices. Oh, it's so good. Big Mike Pro. Don't let it scare you. I know, God, this is what you get for I think on Prime Day they were $143 for the Donner Strat, and remember it comes with the amp. It's a little Donny, little Don. That's a grill. That's a cloth grill. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I mean, I'm sure it's plastic, but it's like, it's like nice. I'm like, that actually feels like real friggin' cloth. You know, instead of like a cheap molded, right? So I'm sure they're like plastic fibers, but it does feel woven. I'm just saying, if John Mayer was still alive, he'd probably be playing a Donner. Probably. We can only speculate. Any fret choke? No. But I feel like these strings are still breaking in. All right, who do we got here? Jay Schaff, John, Ian, GSU Panther, Scott, Stefan, Rico B, Super Lead. Who do we got? Titan Andrew, Wendell, Michael, Rico, JMT, Ian, if I didn't say Ian already. What's up, speaker? Hey, I made good headway on that soccer ball. We got Richard. We got I think I said Matt already, but we'll say him again. He's worth it. And we got Tony, Eddie Matzi. I haven't played a lot of guitar this week, and I haven't shot Guitar of the Week yet. And you know, you get so many guitars, you kind of forget what you got in. You know, you kind of forget what you ordered, because you ordered them weeks ago, and they showed up like literally a couple of weeks ago. And we're just through the last of the round, and I had this Donner in between, so we're getting on to the next round, and I was like, what the hell did you order? And I looked through, and I was like, oh, shit, that's right. Oh. So I got to figure out which one I'm going to go with. There's a couple of really good candidates. And I had forgotten about it, and I was like, oh, right. They finally had one, because I like to order, when I get them from Zounds, I like to get them on the clearance, you know, because then I don't have I'd have to worry about breaking a brand new guitar, right? It's already like on scratch intent or open box. It takes the pressure off, you know. They will send me, and they have, of all the guitars of the week, maybe about a half dozen have been brand new, and all the rest I get off the clearance rack. They'll send me whatever I want, but I tend to work off of that just for my own, you know, peace of mind. What do we got? We got Beck. We got OK Live. Cheers in Belgium. You know, when I was a kid, we had to pick a European country out of a hat and do a big report on that country, and mine was Belgium. That was my pick, and I remember the chocolate. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool, You know, when you're a kid, you're like, land of chocolate. How are you talking? What's up, BC Rich? We got Rhoda. You know what I need? I need a pop screen. I think. Hold on. I can hear him. I'm plovering. I'm plovering. Hold on. I'll leave this thing. Check, check, check. Pop. Pop, pop, pop. Went the 9 to the temple. I could hear it. Like pissing me off. Like pissing me off. My mixer isn't completely dead, but it's not cooperating. Very temperamental. Which is so maddening, right? It's like, just die already. I wish it wouldn't just power on, but it will. Here we go. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check. Sibilance. Sibilance. Warm up a little bit. Get a touch of the cold hand. Cold. Remember Cold Hand Luke? Sure. Did I say hi to Tony? What's up, Tony? And Sammy and John. And yeah, don't forget to hit the... Actually, of course, it's up and out of the way. I'm going to get this because it's topical. But I commissioned a piece of artwork from one of my favorite artists, Bill Griffith. Hold on. And it's a call to action. And this hangs on the wall. Hold on. All right. This is a commissioned piece of artwork from Bill Griffith. You might hold on. I gotta go to Griffith Cam. There you go. Pretty much stare at that all day. Thanks, Bill. Hand-drawn and inked. I think using marker. God, I love his work. I have to have more done. I should put that at the end of every video. Have a good one, Rotas. Yeah, I spent my mixer money on that. I really am probably going to order another one from him. Just got to think about what to have him write. He offers that same piece of work in black and white for less money if you just want the ink drawing. But his color work is so good. It's like, you got to do it. And every time, I'll just say one thing about Bill Griffith. Every time I've ordered a piece from him and it's shown up, I have been blown away. It has always, like, not met expectations, exceeded expectations. His line is so good. They are clearly hand-drawn. You can see on that sketch, if you look up closely, you can see the pencil where he penciled it up first and then filled it all in and then did the colors. And like it's great work. So I generally with guitar. This is a Donner. This is the guitar of the week from this week. Go back to look. That video's got over 20,000 views. It's crazy. Oh, thank you, Rotis. Thank you so much. That's very much appreciated. Use AI to create my own string back, bring back Pixie and my Ibby. Yeah. There's a lot of pushback out there. I'll tell you this. There's something about that handmade drawing that's pretty cool. You can see the depressions in the paper from the pen, and you can see where he uses marker and overlaps them to create like more shadow detail. It is, like I said, every time I get something from him, I'm always like, oh my God, is this good? Holy shit. And that was only a couple of $100. He's not very expensive. He's like you literally buy it out of Zippy's bargain bin. You can also buy a strip, but that's a print, right? I'm not interested in prints. I'm interested in hand drawn. So I've had him draw a bunch of small stills for me of all his characters. I think he gets like 25 a pop. I got all 3 done. And I bought a poster, which is silk screened. It's like a 15 layer silk screen or some shit like that. It's like insane. And, or even more. It's crazy. And it is so detailed. Again, I opened it up. I was like, oh my God, that is incredible. And the colors were so vibrant. And I had that framed up. That hangs up in the foyer. One of his handmade posters. But I really dig his like just straight up art. And he's getting up there. He sadly lost his wife recently, and I think he wrote a book about the loss. And you can tell, he's a senior citizen, and his love for diners. He loves diners, and he's been on a bunch of like New England diner tours, and pretty much written about it. So, I like Bill Griffith a lot, and it's crazy. I remember getting introduced to Zippy as a character, and I can buy that print. I should just get it and see if I can get him to colorize it. But he put a full page cartoon, full page strip, multi-panel strip, in a National Lampoon. I want to say it was like March or April of '83. I remember I had just gotten my license, and buying the magazine and seeing Zippy for the first time, and his Zippy goes from a state of complete schizophrenia, like meltdown, to normal. The whole world around him changes into like a hellscape, mainly occupied by Disney characters. And I was like, oh, this is great. I actually own some. I bought some original R. Crumb, and I had some doubts as to whether they were original because I bought 2 prints, and I only ordered 1, and 2 showed up, and he enclosed a note saying, I couldn't tell I wasn't sure which of these signatures was real, so I sent you both. And now I'm thinking, well, neither one must be real. What are you talking about? And they did not look right. And so I said, no, I'm going to return them. I sent the prints back, got my money back through eBay. This is in like 1990, late 90s, like 98 or 99. And it's around that time. It's around the late, it's probably 98 or 99. And a bunch of Crumb, and it's real. A bunch of Crumb stuff goes up on eBay, including some signed posters and some original artwork. And it's being sold by Terry Zwigoff, who was a director. He directed the Crumb movie. Terry Zwigoff was the director. And he's got a new movie coming up that he's working on called Bad Santa. So I think he's fundraising. So he's selling off a whole bunch of R. Crumb stuff he has. And I bought a poster that is, it's like the original poster, but it has all this additional like hand-drawn artwork around it. And it's signed by Crumb, and it's real. It is absolutely signed by Crumb. I made my check out to Zwigoff Productions in Los Angeles. And the Zwigoff signed it, and because his secretary reached out to me and said, Terry wants to know if you want him to sign it as well or just leave it with Crumb. And I said, no, he can sign it as well because he's the director on the movie, sure. So he signed it as well. And that one actually got damaged a little bit in shipping. But I could probably have it pressed. I've had another poster damaged in shipping, and I had it pressed on a piece of foam board, and you would never know it was damaged. And that one had severe damage compared to the damage on this. So, like, really crumpled. This one's just got a couple of creases. But unfortunate, I actually have some really cool posters. I have a very rare Simpsons poster that you had to be at their 10th anniversary event to get it. It's what they call like a panorama poster. It's long, and it does a big timeline. I haven't seen one in 20 years. Oh, that is so good. I'd pay for an original Calvin and Hobbes. Don't want to brag. But I have a signed Watterson print. It's extremely rare. It's one of 1,000 that he gave out to newspapers, including the one my wife worked at. And when it showed up, she opened the mail. That's why we have it. She opened the mail. And when she opened it and saw it, she went straight to the, not the editor, but the publisher, like the top guy, and said, I want this. Then he said, okay, you can have it. And when other people found out about it, there was a little brouhaha. He said, I already promised it to her. So we got it. And it is extremely rare. It's a watercolor. It is gorgeous. It is framed. And it is signed and numbered by Watterson. He was going on sabbatical, and he sent out a signed print to all of his newspapers. And they were one of them. And she got the print. And you see, the last one I saw sell on eBay went for over $5,000. So, anyway. So, what a week. After I left you, I pretty much spent the night watching all the illegal videos of the Black Sabbath show that were showing up on YouTube that night. And, man, I have some thoughts. I wrote down my thoughts because there was just so much going on, and then we'll look at some new gear coming out this week. I have some other studio news. It's on that sheet of paper, and these are my notes from the event. So. They're in no particular order. These are just things I wrote down. I thought when I would say the worst act of the night. It's so hard because there were so many crap acts. But I would say, what's his name there? Billy Corgan. Trying to sing Judas Priest. Dude, stay in your lane. Rob Halford is not an easy guy to sing, and it's just sounding just awful. Sammy Hagar struggled on the Sabbath material, kicked ass on his own song, sounded perfect. Like Billy Corgan would sound perfect on his own song, but on that Black Sabbath tune, it was brutal. I thought Pantera sounded like shit. I don't know what Zach was running through, but it was almost sounded like direct audio. There was something going on there. It was a terrible tone. He had terrible sustain. There was like almost no compression. He struggled to get through material, and it was a bit of a debacle. The surprise for me, quite frankly, was Pantera. I'm not Pantera. Pantera sucked. Slayer. Slayer, I thought actually sounded pretty good. Shockingly decent. You know, it's a single sound. You know, every song sounds the same, but it's they were competent, which was saying a lot for some of that lineup. All right. When it comes to Ozzy himself, I thought with Black Sabbath, a little shaky. Thought Tony was having a tough time. As I understand it, they were going to try to do Black Sabbath, but there's that big part at the end with all those drums, and Bill just couldn't play it. Hadn't toured in a very long time. He was just out of shape. He's an older guy and couldn't do it. So they had to, according to what I've read online, they had to knock out a couple of songs because Bill just was not up to the task. So they only do 4 tunes, you know, and call it a night. I thought that Iommi was a little shaky. I thought Bill Ward sounded a little shaky. I thought Geezer sounded friggin' amazing. Geezer Butler was on point. I thought Ozzy actually sounded pretty good. And with his band, they sounded even better. I thought with the solo Ozzy material, it definitely sounded real good. I thought Guns N' Roses sounded like garbage. I thought, what's his name there? The band sounded okay, but I thought Axl Rose really struggled with his own material. And, it had a little bit of the Mickey Mouse falsetto going on, and it was almost all falsetto and not good. The band was not, again, I can't really fault the Guns N' Roses band. I thought they sounded okay. I thought one of the best, let me tell you who kicked ass. Let's get positive here. Alice in Chains. That's a band I don't know shit about, okay? They came out long after I was interested in rock bands. But their cover of Fairies with Boots, goddamn, professional. One of the best sounds of the show. I thought Alice in Chains sounded absolutely killer. Youngblood covering Changes. There's a singer. Youngblood comes out and absolutely crushes it with the big ballad Changes. Thought it sounded really good. Got to give props where they're due, and Youngblood on Changes deserves it. That kid is a phenom. Really, really good. Got a little Mick Jagger thing going on too, maybe. I would say the MVP of the night, the absolute star of the show, and I don't even think it's debatable. If you say anyone else, you're wrong, was Nuno Bettencourt. Nuno Bettencourt came out there. He played all the songs almost goddamn note for goddamn note. I mean, just kicking ass. Just every band he was in, he raised the quality of it. Just the whole thing, I just felt from start to end, the absolutely the MVP of that whole thing. Give him the goddamn MVP award, Nuno Bettencourt. Just absolutely. And it all culminates. It all comes to a massive, I think, peak when Steven Tyler comes out. And they come out first with, I think it's maybe Tom Morello and what's his name there from the Stones there, Ronnie Wood, and they just try and keep the roll and get going. They get into friggin', I think they bring out Chad, right? On drums, Chad Smith. He comes out. They switch to oh my God, just killing it. They sound so friggin' good. They get to the end of that, and it morphs into a whole lot of love, and Steven Tyler is belting. And I'm like, he is schooling every goddamn kid. I'm like, oh my God, how the hell is this guy still alive, let alone this good? Let's face it, the dude, he lived that, but they say, you know what, it's the little guys, right? The little guys live longer. And he just, oh my God, he sounded so freaking good. His voice was so good. I know he had vocal surgery. Bon Jovi should get his doctor. Because holy shit did he sound good. Just unbelievable. And that was the highlight of the show for me. I could not stop watching it until they finally blocked it. I finally went to go watch it, and it just sat and spun. And then later I went back, and they were like, this video has been removed by a claim from Universal Music Group. I'm like, but I for the most part, Lizzie Hale was pretty decent. Most of them were pretty competent. I would say the disappointments were Pantera and Certainly that Corgan stuff was just, come on, dude. And I would say the surprise hit was absolutely a Youngblood. Like, who the hell is this guy? Although, funny thing is, I knew of him because he did a cover of I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss for a soundtrack, right? It's some movie, right? And they feature the song in it. And it's this very sort of, overwrought, version, but it's competent. I mean, the dude can sing. I mean, you can't, if anything, the dude can sing. So just hearing that, I was like, wow, this dude's and I hadn't heard from him again. Then he come out and did changes, and I was like, dude, this dude, he's talented. He's got the talent. Yeah, I'm looking your way, Billy Corgan. See that? See that over there? That's talent. Oh my God, so many good tunes. They didn't do this one. When I listen to this one, I think of Speak of the Devil. You know the drums. What is this? That's yeah, Hagar ruined Flying High Again. Hagar was terrible on Flying High Again. It's out of his range. He was struggling. Yeah, Ozzy is a tenor. And Ozzy was singing, let's get into this. Ozzy was singing a whole a step and a half down, a minor third down. So this was actually sounding F sharp. They tuned everything down to C sharp, right? Much, much lower. Sting is doing that. Everything's down a step and a half, right? Much easier on the voice. Ozzy was down a step and a half, sometimes a whole step, sometimes a step and a half, depending on the song. Because I went through and I played, because I got curious about it. You know who played every single one of his songs in the original key, the key of A and the key of E? Steven fucking Tyler. Never forget that, okay? He's not dropping down a whole step or a step and a half. No, sure. No, I can do the original one. On a C. Yeah, plus Nuno validated this. Everybody plays it up there because that's where you get taught how to play it. But I said, I'm almost hearing a second guitar going down here. And when they were doing it, Morello was doing it up here, and Nuno was doing it down here. And I said, damn, thank you. Yes. Nobody smart but me. Oh, no, there's no shame in tuning down, but you got to give props to a dude who's in his late 70s and not tuning down. 7-year-old me saw the cover, Speak of the Devil, in the department store. My dad worked in it. Scared the living daylights out of me, yeah. Like the first time I listened to Black Sabbath, the song Black Sabbath. Yeah, I'm a little Catholic school kid, you know, and that scared the daylight. I like turned it off. I was like, oh, no, you're going to summon the devil, for Christ's sakes. What are you doing here? Speak of the Devil came out when I was 16, right? 82, I think? Or was it 83? I think it was 82. I thought actually Metallica did their cover of the Black Sabbath tune. I thought they were pretty decent. You know, I can't bag on them. I'm not crazy about their tunes. They seem to sound good. They seem like a well-rehearsed and practiced band, and you know. So you got to give props. Same with the Slayer. You know, you got to give them props. I'm not crazy about their stuff, but you know, damn, they sounded tight. They had their shit together. Same with Alice in Chains. But Alice in Chains to me has more musicality to them, right? And though that singer is such an amazingly good goddamn singer, right? You know, he really is. You know, just belting those tunes out. So when it came time for him to do that cover of Fairies Wear Boots, he was just killing it. I was like, really? Again, the talent shines through. It really does. They asked Nikki Sixx why Motley Crue wasn't there. And he said that, you know, the band is experiencing health issues. I bet. So how is this mic doing? Is it okay? It's a little bit lower in my ears, but I can see it's hitting pretty good on the meter. I think. Check. Maybe a touch higher. Hello, check. Welcome. Hello, Aljon. Tell the kids I said hello. Nah. So we have so that was just my take on the Ozzy show. To be honest with, I was obsessed with it. I was watching it because I knew all those videos got pulled, and I knew they would. Literally by the next day. And I was texting with Bobby because he was up. I'm like, dude, are you seeing what I'm seeing? He's like, I am. I'm like, it's pretty good. Guys, they are killing it. They sound good. So, again, the MVP award, and there wasn't even a close second, Nuno Bettencourt. The correct answer is Nuno. There's no debate. Okay, here we go. We have some new guitars to look at. Where are my new guitars? They are right here. Gibson, I'm on the email list now. Smartest thing I ever did was sign up to a bunch of email lists, because now I get the emails. Has the new Les Paul Music City Special. I think it's a nod to Nashville, which is where Gibson has been located for quite a number of years now. And you got the old... That headstock reminds me of the Marauder. But there you go. And it's in a few different colors. There's like a wine red and ebony and a tobacco burst. So which one do you like the best? The black reminds me of the Marauder. I don't know, I think I might like the Sunburst best. You know, a little bit more distinguishing. Although, if this was back in the late 70s, I'd want this one. Because that color was so hot back then. It was so hot. So that's new. There was another thing I wanted to show you, too. Hold on. I won't make you sit through. Is it right here? Yes, it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay. Sometimes the guitar world and the pop culture world collide. And they bring us something that, did we want? I don't know. People are talking. Some say no. And of course I give you the Game Boy guitar. Because you're already not enough of an adolescent playing guitar this late into life. You need one that merges your two terrible, terrible hobbies together. I wouldn't mind it, except the strings are practically falling off the friggin' fretboard. That guy needed to spend a few more minutes measuring. I've seen this sell and get returned multiple times. His guitars, I've meant to talk about this, and then it gets sold, and then it's back again, because someone gets it and goes, oh my God, no. It looks cool, and then you get it, and you're like, yikes. Yikes. I'm pretty sure that's copyright Nickelodeon, but I could be wrong. Right? Doesn't it look a little too, right? You got to get that spacing down a little better. It's not filling me with confidence. And the problem is, it also just doesn't look that polished. It has a very, especially when you get down here and you see that open pore, looks very handmade. You know, looks like something you'd find in your grandmother's attic. Oh, I remember when your grandfather used to play the Ren and Stimpy guitar. We'd stay up all night, he'd play me the Green Day. We'd play our Game Boys. So, right? It's a wall hanger. Yeah, would you just be a decoration? Yeah, right. It's like wall art. Yeah. Then you're like, is it though? Wall art or eyesore? People are talking. I'm just saying. Honey, now I know you wanted to take that trip to Barbados, but I have something that's infinitely better. All right? Now work with me here. Because it's not just a guitar. It's also a piece of wall art. So I took the Barbados money and I bought this monstrosity. You're welcome. That's $1,700. Now, if you were $199, we might be talking. I would get it. At $16.99, I'm a pointer and laugher. Ha ha! Not a buyer. Oh, no head stuck to hang it on the wall. Oh, Alan, we would be creating some sort of a custom showcase, most likely lined with some sort of a decorative pattern reflecting pop culture, and lined with LED lights. And oh no, this is a showcase. It's a goddamn showcase. Of what? I have no idea. Exactly. Just mine it with a few railroad spikes, right? Just staple it right up there. Get rid of that one. See it in my retina, it is. All right. Now that we're done with the Game Boy guitar, we can move on to more serious stuff. I believe the P, the R, and the S have come out with a new guitar. Again, I'm on the mailing list. There it is. The Natsu, the NSFW. Yeah. Vintage spirit. Timeless tone. Remember that guy you loved as a kid? He played a guitar kind of like this one. But not exactly. I would be in court. Solid body, swamp ash, flat top, 22 frets, 25.5-inch scale length. It is a maple neck with a scarfed construction, the PRS double-acting truss rod. The NF53 neck shape, that tells you a lot. Maple fretboard, 10-inch radius, and we have Boyd's. When Boyd's suddenly appear, whenever you are like, yeah. Just don't call it a telly. What else? What else? That might have been it. Game Boy guitar. Yeah. New Gibson LP. Yeah, we covered that. The Music City. Yeah, and the SE NF53. It just rolls off the tongue. Take a hint from Gibson. They called theirs the Music City. Kind of memorable. Yours is the SE NF53. Just saying. That's the Ibanez school of naming. There was something new. A lot of people are say I should, play tube amps. And there's been a breakthrough in that. I don't think they have it here. Do they not have it here because they suck? Because their latest thing doesn't show up on... Oh, this might be it. Is it 1,000? It's 1,000 watts. Listen, when I'm out playing in the world, not me, of course, but the world demands that I use at least 1,000 watts. It's not me, it's them. I, of course, am fine with a 5-watt amp, but they want 1,000 watts. And to get that, we have to go to the only amp maker that can provide such a thing. EVH. Yes, the hallmark of tube amps. This amazing EVH is a hypersonic, full-range, flat response powered speaker with tweeters and woofers. And a 1,000-watt power amp that doesn't have a tube for as far as the eye can see. And this is what EVH is putting out. I love it. You can plug your Helix, your Kempa, or your Mua, or your Flamma, or even your Axe-Effects straight into it. You go, look at me, I'm jamming. Woo, I'm jamming. All right? There you go. EVH, they see the future. And the future is full frequency, flat response. Anyway. It's tears of joy, right? Sure. Trying to avoid license plate naming conventions, exactly. So you get that plate number? I think it was like an NEFR 75. We used to say that about Billy Joel, right? His lyrics read like testimony. And where did he work? You know, he worked at Mr. Cacciatore's down on Hanover Street. Yes. Across from the medical center. Okay. And then what happened? Exactly. Plug your Sonic cake in there. You have 1,000 Sonic cakes. How much does that equal? We don't even know. It's incalculable. No. There it is. I'm just saying, if Jimmy Page was still alive, he'd probably be playing a Donner. Probably. We can only speculate. Exactly. Billy Joel was all first-hand accounts. I might need a little tune. Little tune, I got a tune. Where the hell is my tuner? No, that's not the tuner. That's the tuner. Right there. All right. Yeah, tiny bit. They're still stretching out a little bit. A little flat, tiny bit. A little bit. That sounds about right. Do-do-do. Just got the Donner DST-80. Nice. What are your thoughts on it? You know, I don't know if I played the 80. It doesn't ring a bell. Oh, kitty entering the set. We have a kitty. Oh, we do. What is that? That is Henri. All the way. Which way is she going? Is she going up to the window? Probably, but maybe not. Henri's a bit fickle. So I'm finally doing a little bit of a system upgrade. It was a system that was over here for a little bit, but it actually wasn't powerful enough really for my streaming. And so I had to replace it with this AMD system that I had, which is it's a lot of hand-me-downs, right? The most powerful system is the video editing system in the attic. And if I got something more powerful than that, that's where it would be going. But it's not. But it is. It's a good boost. But it's not enough of a boost where it really exceeds my attic system, which is an AMD I think it's like a 5950. So it's loaded. It's like a 16 core, 32 thread. It's pretty loaded. I don't feel the need, but I did pick up for the system down here that I built about 5 years ago. Oop, wrong one. Right there. One of the new Chord Ultras. They're blowing them out on Prime Day. I didn't see a lot of good guitar stuff, and the headphones weren't on sale. Last year we got the headphones for $89, and this year they were $139. So it's like a $50 increase. I couldn't really find much that was anything decent this year on Prime. Tech stuff was good, but I couldn't really find a ton of guitar stuff, so I didn't do a video this year. That mic does a good job not picking up my pick hitting the strings, really. You think the other one? Well, the other one was more, I think, Omni. Actually, it just feels like it's a little low. Come on. That might be a little bit better. There we go. Hello, Jack 1, 3. Siblings. I also remember that it was always clipped to my strap here, and you wonder if there was like a little conductive, right, vibration going on there. Picked up 2 8-terabyte drives. Ben Tom, I was looking at drives. I came close to picking up 1 or 2 8-terabyte. I was like, don't do it, because I've been on a tear. I've been selling a bunch of stuff. I sold some guitars, and so I can't complain. But it's not like I'm hoarding stuff. But I have been going a little kooky, buying crap like this, doing upgrades. But you got to buy it when the price is right. And that was like, I want to say $259 on Prime Day. So pretty decent. Couldn't get anything even close to that in terms of like power per dollar. So I had to pick up a Mobo, but the Mobo was on sale from like $239 down to $159, that's a really decent. And the RAM was on sale. It's like down in the 70s for 32 gigs of DDR5, like 6500. So it's like I did it, and what I'll do is I'll take that motherboard, a chip and RAM out, and I'm going to move it to the attic, which is, I can't even believe I'm saying this, running an AMD Phenom 2. It's a little old. The old Phenom. I swear to God, it's from like 2009, 2012, something like that. So, time to retire that one, which can only run Windows 10, and I'll take that 10th gen i5, which is the low power one. That's why it's kind of farting out on me now. I've finally sort of like outgrown it, and I can throw it to the attic and it'll be fine for streaming. So I'll just move that motherboard, that RAM, and that chip up to the attic. There goes Henry, and retire the Phenom finally. You need to sell guitars. I do hoard. I just gave a few guitars away, and because I'm like literally tripping over them, and I've sold a few. Ones I think that I can get some money for. The ones that are, really inexpensive, I usually give to a friend of mine who works at a local music school, and sometimes they like if the person, although I'm not giving them very expensive guitars, but maybe it's better than what they have. And I say they'll find a use in case the person shows up and someone doesn't have their guitar with them. There's a guitar there that they can use. They'll find a use for it. Do a giveaway, do something. So I usually just donate it to this local music school, or really to a dude who works there, and he works out how to get rid of it. And I know the owner. I've known the owner since like the mid '80s. I've known these guys, In fact, I've known the owner longer than I know the guy I give the guitars to. How's that? Yeah, Phenoms were running hot. It's time to dump it, though. The best it can do is an SSD drive, SATA. The one I'm going to put up there is going to run NVMe. And you know what? I used to store movies on it. All the movies up there are like 10 years old. And, they're just so old now. And we stream everything now. So, it was a lot. It was a colossal waste of time to get all those movies on there. There's probably not a movie I have stored I can't go get a better copy by streaming, through one of our streaming services. Yeah. That cat's butt is reminding me I got in a fight with a raccoon this week. So my daughter calls me and said, that hole in the roof on the porch where the squirrels have been going in? I go, yeah. She goes, I just watched the raccoon climb into it. I was like, Jesus. So I went out there, and we just replaced, I have a flag mounted out in the front of our house. Well, the old one, we had like a wet, heavy snowstorm, and it bent the flagpole. And so the whole thing was it was ruined. And so I I bought a new one. I took the old one out and I threw it on just like the front porch table and mounted the new one, and the old one was out there. Well, that old one's got a big, long, it's a flagpole, and it's got a round ball on the end. So I took it and started running it over the ceiling of the porch and banging on it, and sure enough, who blurps out the end but the raccoon? Climbs up on the roof. And I go out there, and it's like sitting up there giving me the dog eyes. I'm like, don't even. Listen, you can find a lot of places to go, but not there. Can't have you up there. And I wound up getting the hose and like squirting it with the hose, and it goes way up on my upper roof and disappears. So I'm like, whatever. And then later on, I go out there. I say, let me just try it again. I bang, and sure enough, out she comes again. And I'm like, oh my God, this stupid thing. And I go in, and I'm talking with my wife, and she's like, what are you doing out there? And I'm like, I'm going to fight with a raccoon. There is a raccoon. She goes, oh. I go, it's living up on the roof. She goes, oh, we can't have that. I go, no, we can't, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, but they nest up there when they're having babies. She probably has babies. I go, why do you have to defend the raccoon? Why do you have to make stuff up? We don't, there's no babies. There's a raccoon living up there. Why do we have to make the most sympathetic situation? Yeah, well, maybe it has babies. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But it's like, I don't think so. It's like, I haven't seen any babies. What are you talking about? So I go up there again. I cut to like an hour later, and I go out there, and I bang on the roof again with the flagpole, and sure enough, she comes out again, runs down, and runs into my neighbor's backyard. And I come around the side of the porch to see where she is, and I look down, and there's a baby raccoon on the ground. And I was like, ugh. And I was so bummed, not because there was a baby raccoon on the ground, but because my wife was right. How dare you prove her right? And I was like, oh. And it was adorable. And I was like, you son of a bitch. And so what I wound up doing was I said, okay, I'm calling a ceasefire. And I went back in the house. And, of course, I can see on my camera what goes on. And one by one, she took the babies out of the roof and brought them down and put them under the porch. And now she's living under the porch, which I think is better. I don't know. But I'm going to leave her alone. We'll let the babies grow up and get weaned, and because this thing was pretty small. It was all curled up and had its eyes closed. But it was not dead. It was alive. And later on, I went out there and looked at it, and it was sort of rolling around a little bit. And she went and got it and carried it under there. So, I'm like, okay. Looks like we have a family of raccoons living. At least she's not climbing up, which I think was destroying my porch. At least she's under the porch now. So I think that's better. But, the raccoons come and eat the cat food. Well, our cats only stay indoors, so luckily we don't have anything like that out there. Though many years ago, over 10 years ago, we did Thanksgiving, and my wife we had no room in the fridge, and she put the turkey on the back porch, and she went out to check on put something else out there, and a raccoon was dragging the turkey down the steps, and she got in a goddamn tug of war. She was like, "My turkey," and she's like, "My turkey," and she was in a tug of war. That raccoon was like, "No, I don't care how big you are. I'm taking this turkey," and we got the turkey, but we probably didn't want to eat it after that, after been manhandled a little bit by raccoon. Oh yeah, no, as soon as I saw it had the baby, I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it alone. If it becomes a problem, if I hear it scratching, if I see any more damage, we'll address it at that time. But for right now, and I know I have a family of bunnies living under there because I see them all the time. And in fact, I stuck my camera under there and just did a wide-angle shot, and I could see way off in the distance, way in the back, lying up like away from the heat and the cool underneath the porch, a rabbit all sprawled out and like asleep, not dead though, because I checked later just to make sure, and it was gone. So it was definitely just hanging out. So hopefully the raccoons and the bunnies are cool to sort of hang out with each other. But I think that mother, if she has the babies, she probably doesn't see the rabbits as a threat though. We have the most adorable tiny baby bunny out front though. Like, and I know because I see my daughter out there with a camera trying to get a picture of it because it's adorbs. I'm just saying, anything would probably sit in your friggin' hand. It's a little Eastern cottontail. And the thing is, it's not like the raccoon was making any noise. The raccoon was staying pretty stealthy. It was just as my daughter saw the raccoon. And I met the raccoon like a week ago walking down the driveway. I was like, where the hell are you from? And when I went around the corner, she was gone. And she crawled back up into the roof. You know? I don't know. This raccoon is not aggressive at all. If anything, it's pretty timid. Usually if you get rabies, you're pretty aggressive. You have a cute rabbit outbreak in your town. I tell you, when I grew up around these parts, we never had the bunnies like we have them now. We've had an explosion of friggin' rabbits up here. Give them names. That'll make it easier. I did see Nuno. We were talking about it earlier. Pretty much the MVP of the show. Yeah, see, we don't have to worry about, we do have deers and we have seen coyotes, but we don't have enough, of both to have any trauma like a coyote attacking a deer. At least not in this area. It's just too urban. Just way, way too urban. Now, coyotes are, they're urban dwellers, but they're pretty stealthy. And deer's not so much. Deer's, you got to get closer to the more woodsy part of town, along like way more like built up areas to start to see deer. I have seen a deer on my street before, but I've lived here almost 25 years and I've only seen it one time. I've seen coyotes many times. And the occasional raccoon. Oh my God, we get turkey vultures, but we get turkeys. What's going on the table when the mixer's gone? I got to think another mixer. People keep telling me I should get the Allen and Heath. But they had good luck with it. A speaker, was it Speaker and me or was it Bobby and me? I think it was Speaker and me. We went out to Guitar Center. And they had a couple of mixers in there used. It's tough to buy a used mixer. It really is. That's one item. And I want a single. That's the other thing that's tricky. I need a single volume, right? I need a single point of volume. A lot of them have a stereo pair, and I don't want to have to mess with that. I just want a single lift. So I think that's what Allen and Heath has, and I've just heard good things. A lot of people tell me that that's what they use. Did you learn EH from listening to the records? Partially listening to records. I keep thinking this is like falling on me. I'm gonna put it up here. Am I doing it right? Partially from listening to records, and a lot of times I get the tab. I think it's a good place to start, though a lot of times the tab is wrong. The tab I see for that song all the time is wrong. That's how to play it. That's not a Van Halen song, but it's just an example, the one that comes to mind of countless tab books that had it wrong. But if you slow it down and listen to it, what I just played is correct, and not the tab that I've seen written many times. So usually they do weird. They're not hearing it correctly, but if you go through the software and you really break it down, you can hear it. So I find that a combination of the tabs, listening to it, and of course I didn't have it back in the day, but now YouTube videos, because you'll see like little things and you're like, oh right, there's that little that he does there, and you don't think it's huge, but when the difference between someone doing it with that little scrape in it, versus without it, you're like, oh wow, that sounds a little bit more authentic. And Van Halen is always using crazy chords with tensions on them, because I think he was trying to fill out the sound of a 3-piece band, and so he did it by adding more color tones. And you would see Hot for Teacher, you'd see a lot of people end on E, but it's really E sus. And so it, you got to take the tabs with a grain of salt, but it's a good starting point. Get you in the area. I haven't seen AI tabs, but I'm sure they're coming. I'm sure eventually AI will be really good at it, but it'll be a few years, but eventually it'll get there. It'll be like damn near perfect. I got the fever. So I got a new keyboard this week. I picked up one of those Korg Nautilus. I got the 88 key version. Now I have a Yamaha Modi X 88 key, which is a great keyboard. But it's like I've had that keyboard about 5 years now. No, 4 years. I got it in 2021. So 4 years. I got it in winter, spring 2021. And so it's decent. I like it. But you get kind of sick of the same sounds. You're looking for something new. And the Nautilus, you'll see him out there for the 88 key, which is the wooden key with the big giant piano key bed. Unlike the organ, much lighter 73 and 61 key. The full weighted piano key one, new, they're $2,500, and you'll see them out there used $14.99, $15.99 pretty regularly. I remember right around the pandemic, they had one out at Guitar Center for like $12.99, like a floor model. And it had a little bit of damage, but I was like, wow, that's a really good price for that. And Kusa, who is Korg USA, the exclusive United States distributor for Korg products, they have a reverb store, and they sell quote-unquote B-stock, which I assure you does not look like B-stock. Looks like looks absolutely brand new. And certainly nicer than that Modi X when I got it, which was, a little scratched up. Because I got the Modi X used. So I ordered up the Nautilus. They were blowing them out. Crazy, $9.89. Again, this is something, if I went to Sweetwater to buy it, or Zounds, $24.99. You get a so-called quote-unquote B-stock that looked brand new and not a scratch on it. And that one is, $9.89. And tax but free shipping. And they ship out of, if you're not familiar with it, Melville, New York. And that area is just very industrial. There's a lot of places that are in Melville and ship out of Melville. And so it was here in like a day, like 24 hours later, it was on my door. And I happened to be outside when the UPS guy pulled up. And I was like, because it weighs 50 pounds. I'm like, any chance you could wheel that to the back door? He's like, sure. Wheeled it right down to the back door. I said, oh, thank you so much. And then my friend Bobby came by and helped me put it in place, take the other one out of place. It's a two-man job. You can't move that thing around. But it's pretty awesome sounding. It's a whole new, and I still have the Modi X. I'm debating on whether to sell it. I might. But I tell you, man, that Korg sounds freaking killer. I think the Yamaha probably does better on some of the, like the piano sounds maybe a little bit, but my God, the symphonic sounds and the strings and the synth sounds on the Korg, just stellar. My God, they sound so good. So, very close to a shipping facility. You can order something, get it very quickly. Yeah, that's huge. Are you familiar with Melville, New York? Yeah, there's quite a few businesses in that little strip. And what's this? Is it Farmington? Is right there. A lot ships out of Farmington, right? There's like a big FedEx and UPS. I think both are in Farmington. That's a huge, Motif is great. Motif is good. In fact, that's what the Modi X is. It's like the continuation of the Motif AWM2, sample set. And, and at first some of the Korg sounds were sort of like okay, but you're down in the modeling section. When you get out of the modeling and you get, the analog all sounds good, the analog modeling and all stuff like that, but some of the string modeling, I'm like, that's okay, but it's not knocking me out. Then you get up into their sample playback, and my God, those orchestral, like some of the pizzicato, I was like, that's okay. It's not that great. I think the Yamaha's better at that. Then I got up into the actual samples, right? Get out of the string, where they it's modeling. It's not a sample playback. It's a modeling generator. It's not quite the same. The sampling on something like a pizzicato, so much better. When I got up there, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. No, this is really good. It's loaded with sounds too. It's pretty good. But he had to take out a loan to get an M1. The M1 is one of the most successful, if not the most successful, synthesizer of all time. The Korg M1. Farmingdale. Oh, yeah. Music Zoo is there. That would make sense. That whole area is very industrial. If you just look at it on a map, it just carves out a big strip of buildings. Right in the with a highway running right through it. Korg strings are better. I think so. I think Korg does a lot of things better. But, don't count out, the some of the motion stuff on the Yamaha is really good. I don't know that it's quite as good, but you want to do your own stuff. And I'll say this, the Korg is a true workstation, so they have a bunch of pre-made, sequencer tracks that you can play back to show off the unit. And damn, do they sound good. And those are playing back in real time. Yeah, we've been talking about what to do with this thing. That's the old big tone. Bit of a misnomer. Yeah, you're about 20 minutes from those sounds? Wow. Friend is a Korg fanboy. Pauly 8 M1. He's had them all. I was always a fan of the Korg. I thought the what was, I can't even think of it right now. Is it the DS-8? I think that was the one I really dug, and of course I think it was the DSS-1 which was like their sampler. It was very expensive. I remember looking at one in like 85 or 86. I got so obsessed with friggin' synthesizers in the mid-80s, and all I could afford was like a Yamaha FB01, which I eventually upgraded to an MT32, and then eventually got a TX7. And not bad. Boy, it was slow going back then. Everything was so expensive and so terrible. But, you kept going. Now it's unbelievable. That Korg I just got has like 9 synth engines in it. It's got the sample playback, which is the majority of the sounds, right? But then it's got an engine just for the piano. And each note that you play is actually 4 samples, and it's got 100 notes of polyphony. So they even tell you in the notes are like, technically it's 400 notes of polyphony, but you're hearing 4 notes simultaneously because we do 2 stereo recordings, a close up and a far away, and then you can use the modeling to move between them. So they have a dedicated, like, piano app it's really samples, but you can manipulate filters by opening and closing the lid, right, to dampen it or to make it brighter, right? A lot of stupid, like, what's that anthropomorphism or whatever they call that? Apple used to be like that, and they got rid of it. But they basically, there's a thing where you make it look like somewhat realistic, right? You open the lid, it gets brighter. You close the lid, it gets darker. And so that's for that. And then they have one dedicated to electric piano. They have one dedicated to string, but only plucked strings. Just sort of interesting. They have an analog synth, like a dual oscillator, super low aliasing analog synth. They have an FM synth that's so accurate to FM, like a DX7, it can literally load 6x files directly. And what else does it have? I feel like it has another engine. Oh, it's got the Poly 800. Oh, no, Poly 6. It's got the Poly 6 engine in it from the original. The thing about that was that when the Poly 6 came out is that it had a 4-pole filter, which had a very unique sound. So, and I think it's got an MS-20, which is their original, which got like very, what they would call sort of raw filters, right? They're very edgy. And so it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. It's got like 9 different engines dedicated to a bunch of different timbres. It's pretty good. Yeah, skeuomorphism. Thank you. Thank you. It's so hot right now. So I picked up a, it was under $1,000. Once you get that low, don't you kind of have to buy it? But we'll see. I could keep the Modi X, which is a smaller unit, easier to keep. But we'll see. It's not like the Modi X has like aftertouch or anything like that. It's like you're not really gaining much, other than it does have a lot more tactile to it than than the Korg. But I was I'd been through the Modi X 1,000 times. I've heard a lot of those tones. It was time to try something new. Yeah, I don't remember the Korg, the 8000 and the AM and the DL. There's a big part in the 90s where I'm out of it. Right, I'm so busy with other things, I'm not really looking at the synths. And I bought in '94 the Kurzweil. In fact, if given my choice to replace, if I was going to replace the Modi X, I'd probably want to get like a K2700, like the new Kurzweil. But goddamn, even used, they're like $2,500. I say I can't do that. No. Under $1,000 is the right price. $2,500. No. Can't. You know what? I have too many soft synths that sound amazing. I don't need to spend that kind of money on a hardware synth. It's just not worth it. You know, it takes getting a bargain like buying a Nautilus for $989 is what it cost me. It was literally a B stock that looked brand new versus that Modi X, which was a little scratched up, a little beat up when I got it. And I think after tax and shipping, when you compare the two, I paid $500 more for that Yamaha than that Korg. I don't know that it's $500 better. And I think when they're new, that's what they go for, right? The Modi X8 is $19.99, and the Korg Nautilus 88 is $24.99. And they have an aftertouch version that's $29.99, and now they're coming out with the new Chronos, and I think it's going to be like $4,500. No. It's a little nutty. It's a little kooky. Oh, I love the DW8000. I remember the DW8000, which was one of the first analog machines that could save patches. Right, you could actually store a patch. And they, God, the DX7. If you're gonna buy a DX7, never buy the original one. The DX7 II, that's the one to get. Better buttons that work better and last longer. A lot less noisy, and a way better. I think instead of an 8-bit subsystem, it's a 16-bit. Way better dynamic range. Not even close. If you're going to get a DX7, always get the DX7 II. And not the 2S, because famously the 2 could play two. It was really two DX7s, and you could layer and split the sounds. The S stood for single, so you didn't get the dual engines, you know. Oh my God, that's good. Exactly, so much higher headroom. What was I playing on the keyboard? I know a few tunes, not really. My keyboard chops. One of my great regrets is not, I was really getting into keyboard, and I really wanted to get better at it. I just didn't put the time in on that like I put in on guitar. And I started learning tunes. I remember the first time sitting at my little keyboard and learning the opening to Don't Stop Believing, and having the mental what breakthrough. It's like you're having a goddamn aneurysm, trying to sync up your two hands, trying to play the bass part and the chord part simultaneously, which it was just so hard. And I remember once I broke through that and was able to play them at the same time, kind of robotically, you'll get more natural the more you do it. But at the time, at least I could do it. And I said, well, maybe you could play keyboards because, if you can play the opening to that, does it get any more difficult than that? Probably not. I mean, I don't know about keyboards, but I'm thinking that's the most difficult piece. Oh yeah, no, the theory stuff translates. What you really try to do is the best way to get good at anything is to just try and learn a bunch of songs. Because you're pretty much going through the typical motions. So just sitting there and learning scales is a waste of time. What I really want to do is learn how to play songs, and then eventually you'll start to realize, oh, I see what they're doing. Oh, right, they're playing this chord here, sort of inverting it, just moving, like economy of motion, and or certain voicings. It becomes just learning tunes is a good way to get pretty proficient pretty quickly. The problem is I got a big palm, but my fingers are short, kind of stumpy, and it's tough. It's tough to play those chords. You just have to start, making compromises because I don't have the spread from like the tip of your thumb to the tip of your pinky to be able to hit some of those chords. It's just not far enough. Oh, man, it is muggy out there. It was hot this week, and then we had like one couple cool days, and then the heat's right back again. It's freaking gross out. This time of year, I shut down. I had to build a new office chair today. My office chair over where the keyboard is, it's not that old. It's only a couple of years old, maybe 3 years. And one of the, it always has the 5 arms that stick out and the wheels go up. Where the wheel goes in on the bottom, it's not solid. It's, like almost like a honeycomb, and that had broken. And then that was it. You're never getting the wheel back in there. So I got that up to the dump today. Felt pretty good about dumping that off. And my new one, talk about fate, showed up today early. It was supposed to come like next Wednesday, and it showed up today. So I actually built that here this afternoon. And, it's the same thing with the 5 arms. But I noticed that those were solid metal and welded. So as long as the welds hold, it should be better than that plastic one, which didn't seem to last very long. The chair I'm sitting in now, I ordered when I had a broken leg in 2003. All right, and this chair is still going. That one over there, I think I got off of Amazon in 2023, maybe 2022. Was not that long ago. Having lots of frost. Last week, lots of rain. Wow. Yeah, we won't get frost here until October I think we don't have frost in September. October. But a lot of times it's been pushing into November now. Did I find any Amazon Prime deals? I got the processor. That was pretty good. That was $259. And the motherboard was on sale too. That was $159. because I'm going to need a motherboard to plug this thing into. And the RAM was on sale, too. So I got some tech stuff. That was pretty good. And, of course, I bought that replacement chair, which was a Prime Day. That was a Prime Day sale, and I think that was only like $127. So we'll see if that one lasts. What I try to do is but they lie. I try to buy, as big, and I was talking to a speaker about this. Same goes for treadmills. You look at the weighted rate. You don't want something that's rated for like 275, 300 pounds. It's like, they're flimsy. You need something weighted for like 400 or 500 pounds. And they're so much sturdier. That, again, same with the treadmills. You get a treadmill that's rated for 300 pounds versus a treadmill that's rated for 400 or 500 pounds. It's like night and day. Those ones rated for higher weight are way, way sturdier. So you tend to look at that and just take the one with the biggest. If they have one that's rated for like 700-pound human, I'm like, sign me up. That sounds like it might last. Sick of the heat, yeah. Yeah, no, my air conditioning bill is going to be through the frickin' roof. It's that time of year. We just rip right through it. Better time for a better version of the Focusrite. They're only up to 4th gen, and I have a 3rd gen. So I don't think I'm gaining much. I think maybe when they get to 5th gen, I want to just go from 3rd to 4th. Although I heard when they went to 4th gen, they pretty much took the Claret preamps and put it in it, and Claret got an update. So you're getting the hand-me-down Claret preamps, which I'm sure are really nice. Been chatting about a possible Nuno guitar brand. Well, he's with Washburn, right? I think, and that guitar he was playing at the event was pretty nice looking, right? That one with the stripe through it, the dark brown. He had a couple, but that one was the one I really remember. Kind of looks like a diver down with the line across it. Be interesting to see if that comes out as a Washburn. Yeah, his N4. Yeah, I feel like he's been with them for a very long time. Like a good 30 years he's been with Washburn. Oh. Yeah, I have I've had a couple of Serta chairs, because you figure Serta, the mattress people, probably good at making a chair. They were okay. Didn't really last. Wasn't particularly good. I started switching to more generic ones from Amazon, and they haven't really lasted either. So we'll see. The one I have over at my desk over there is an Amazon special, and it's not. It's better now. But when I got it, man, it was kind of hard as a rock. It's sort of been broken in now, but not the greatest. shoulder. Look to me like those stripes with a full thickness. You know, yeah, you could be right on that, right? It's like a stripe through, you know? Like, make the body by laminating the woods together under pressure and then throw it on a CNC machine and cut the body out. Have a good one, Demont. We're going to be wrapping up here in about 5 minutes. Bobby is way into the he's way into the Washburns. He's got a thing for the Nuno Washburns. He's got a bunch of them. I've never owned one, but he friggin' loves them. Oh God, my shoulder. That's a little better. Man, we do the mesh chairs. That's what we had at Putnam, Hayes, and Bartlett when I worked there. We had all those Herman Miller chairs. These chairs were like $1,500 a chair back in the 90s. Assert a big and tall executive chair. That sounds like what I had. That does sound like it. But didn't last. I felt like the arms sort of wore out. Even my wife said, she's like, that chair seems like the pleather on it is sort of falling apart. And I agreed. I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is kind of falling apart here. Look at me. It's like it's like the neighbor on what was that? Tool Time was the show on, what was it? Oh God, I can't think of it. You know, that guy. Now I know Herman Miller chairs are expensive, and that's what they stock that whole place with. Herman Miller chairs. Find another way to spend money. Yeah, that's what we had. We had the Aeron chairs. The mesh. That's what we had. We had the Herman Miller Aeron chairs. It's exactly what they were. Home improvement. Yeah, exactly like the neighbor. Hey, Tim. Exactly, Wilson. Couldn't think of his name. Hi-ho. Exactly, yoink. I like to do that. Splorch, yeech, thwack. All the classics. It's always nice when you find a strap that matches your guitar. I'm very conscious of matching, strap matching. So we'll see this week. I'd like to get 2 videos out this week if I could, but we'll see. I haven't shot the video for Monday yet, so I'm going to have to shoot that tomorrow and get that going. So stay tuned for Monday. Last week at this time, I had already shot my Monday video, and this time around, I've been running late. Haven't had a chance. It's been crazy. M1 Korg next week show. Actually, I heard they released M1 and a wave station for the Nautilus. It's like a free download. And it's basically those samples, and then with the wave station, they line them all up so that they play in a row, which is something they can do in the Nautilus. And then the M1, it's just like all their patches, so it's like you can recreate those classic sounds, but they have a software version that's pretty good. I wouldn't feel the need to load it on that, you know. All right, dudes, it is 8:59. It is time to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody for hanging out tonight. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed. I always appreciate that. And, of course, Brofist to my mod squad. Hashtag Brofist, hashtag mod squad. I don't think we saw Terry tonight, but he's around. He's around. And hashtag Where's Ben Coombs? Christmas. We'll see him at Christmas. All right, dudes, you guys have a wonderful week. Definitely check out Monday's video. Could I have a video on later in the week as well? Maybe. We'll see. It's been very busy. But it looks like it's going to be kind of hot and crappy weather, so I'll be driven indoors. Do something there. But I'll figure it out. No, you rock. You guys have a wonderful week. I will see you all here again next week when we do it all over again. I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started out, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody. All right. Later.